everyone, and welcome to week 12 in environmental science. This week we'll be studying atmospheric science and air pollution. The corresponding information is in chapter 13 in our textbook. On this tab, we have 9 learning objectives. The first three are about basic atmospheric science. So we're trying to first build our understanding of the atmosphere and how it behaves, what it's made out of, which gases it's made out of. The other 6 learning objectives are focused on pollution. Everything from sources of pollution, how secondary pollutants form, what AQI is and how we interpret the scores. We'll be focusing on the Clean Air Act, which is a really important piece of environmental legislation in the United States that regulates air pollution. And we'll also be talking a little bit about indoor air pollution and also stratospheric ozone, which is also the focus of one part of our lab. So you can find more information about the atmospheric science on this tab. So this information is meant to supplement what's in the book to help you meet those first 3 learning objectives. And then on the air pollution tab, there's information to help supplement what's in the book that relates to the last 6 learning objectives. Our class discussion this week is about that really important piece of environmental legislation in the U.S., the Clean Air Act. I want to make sure you know what the Clean Air Act is and which specific pollutants it regulates. And then I want to hear your opinion about it. Has this law been useful at reducing air pollution in the United States? As always, I want you to justify your opinion with high quality sources of information. This is a really controversial law, and I want to hear your opinion about why it's controversial, whether you think it needs to be weakened or strengthened. And again, as always, justify your response with high quality sources of information. This initial post is due Wednesday at the end of the day. I'm going to ask you to respond to your peers by the end of the day on Saturday. Our lab activity this week is focused on one pollutant, and that's the secondary pollutant ozone. On this tab, there's some background information about ozone. This protocol is going to walk you through examining some of the EPA's data about ozone concentrations all across the country. So this is a cool interactive map. You are going to use this tool to look at ozone concentrations across the U.S. at different times of the year, and then also go through time from 1975 to 1995 to closer to the present and see if you can see differences in the air quality or the air quality index for ozone at these different periods of time. The next tab is also about the pollutant ozone, the tropospheric pollutant ozone. And in this case, you're just going to look at data in this Excel spreadsheet from one location in the U.S. This is from Delta, Colorado. You are going to be asked to complete a data table in this Excel spreadsheet and make a few figures, and then answer questions about part 1, the EPA ozone and AQI data, and then part 2, the data from Delta, Colorado about tropospheric ozone. So tropospheric ozone is a pollutant. Stratospheric ozone is something that's actually really useful because it helps block UVA and UVB rays. So the last part of this lab is about stratospheric ozone depletion. So ozone is really confusing because it's a pollutant in the troposphere where we live. That's the air that we breathe is in the troposphere, the lower part of the atmosphere. But it's really important that we have ozone in the stratosphere. And it's even more confusing because we've been releasing pollutants, chlorofluorocarbons, that actually deplete stratospheric ozone. So I put this in here not to confuse you, but to try to really clarify the difference between tropospheric and stratospheric ozone. On this page, I'm asking you to educate yourself about Susan Solomon, one of the atmospheric chemists who helped us understand ozone depletion. Listen to this podcast about her, read her biography, and then answer these questions. Go back to the assignment page and make sure you turn in your Excel file with your graphs and the completed data table, and then turn in a file containing your answer to all the questions. The questions about the two sets of questions about tropospheric ozone and the questions about stratospheric ozone as well. The only other two components of the week 12 module are the practice quiz and the graded quiz. The practice quiz doesn't count for points. I highly recommend you do it before you do the graded quiz to help you get ready for the graded quiz. And as always, please let me know if you have any questions, and have a great week.